Okay, then let's start for not waiting, letting wait everyone so long.
Sure.
Evet, değerli dinleyicilerimiz, izleyicilerimiz, OSS'nin değerli üyeleri, üye firma yetkilileri. Bir 5 dakikalık toplanma süresi yaptık. O yüzden hepinize sabrı için teşekkür ediyoruz. Katılımlarınız için de ayrıca bu zamanı ayırdığınız için de hepinize teker teker teşekkür ederiz. Bugün burada toplanma amacımız Hindistan pazarına, otomotiv aftermarket, otomotiv satış sonrası pazarını hem yakından tanımak hem de üreticilerimiz ve dağıtıcılarımız için bu pazara giriş imkanlarını, yatırım ve ticari ilişkiler kurma olasılıklarını birlikte ilk ağızdan öğrenmek, değerlendirmek. Bunun için Hindistan'ın önemli danışmanlık firmalarından Verco Grup bir süre önce bizimle irtibata geçti ve bu konuda nasıl bir çalışma yapabileceğimizi değerlendirdik birlikte. Kendileri İstanbul'da ziyaret ettiler. Bu ziyaret esnasında bir webinar yapma fikrimiz ortaya çıktı. Bugün konuşmacılar çok çeşitli olacak. Hepsi sırayla teker teker kendilerini tanıtacaklar ama ben özet geçmem gerekirse hemen hemen tüm bu ticari ilişki kurulmasındaki tüm aşamalarda iletişimde olmamız gereken, fikrinden faydalanabileceğimiz farklı görevdeki kişi ve kurumlar katılıyor bugün. Öncelikle Hindistan Türkiye Büyükelçiliğinden Sayın Yeliz Gürlek bizimle ticaret müşaviri olarak söyleyebilirim. Evet, ticaret müşaviri. Hoş geldiniz. Kendisi bize genel olarak Türk firmalarının pazarda ne şekilde var olduklarını ve ne yaptıkları ile ilgili, pazarın şartlarıyla, ülkeyle ilgili bilgiler verecekler. Onun ardından bahsettiğim firmanın, Verco Group'un genel müdürünün bir konuşması olacak. Ardındansa teker teker bunların detayına girmeyeyim. Kendileri size zaten açıklamalarını yapacaklar. Öncelikle Hindistan otomotiv satış sonrası piyasasının bir makro analizi yapılacak. Kurallar, kanunlar, uygulamalar bu giriş için bizlerin nelerin beklediği anlatılacak. Daha sonra pazarın içinden birisi bizlerle olacak. İçerideki işleyişi bize anlatacak. Daha sonra bizim gibi OSS gibi oranın da bir derneği var AKMA adında. Onun yetkilisi bizimle olacak ve oradaki aftermarket firmalarının ne şekilde bir network, bir dağıtım ağ kurduklarını, onlarla nasıl bir iletişim kurarak hem ticari ilişki kurabileceğimizi hem de pazara girebilme, ürün satabilme imkanımız. Tabii ürün satmak derken bu çift taraflı da olabilir. Kendimizi hiçbir şekilde kısıtlamıyoruz. Çünkü Hindistan sizlere tanıtım mesajında da bahsettiğim gibi 1,4 milyarlık bir nüfusa sahip. Toplam araç parkı 350 milyon civarında. Bu 350'nin tabii 250'si 2 ve 3 tekerlekli araçlar. İşte motosiklet ve triportör dediğimiz kısım. Geri kalan 90-100 milyonluk kısmı da bizim binek ve ağır vasıta, hafif ticari ve ağır vasıta dediğimiz kısım. Dolayısıyla çok büyük bir potansiyele sahip. Son konuşmacımıza da gelirsek aynı şekilde gene dağıtım ağlarıyla bir distribütör firmanın temsilcisi bizimle olacak. O da size distribütörlerin ne şekilde pazarda var olduklarını bizlere anlatacak. Şimdi izniniz olursa toplantı dilimiz olan İngilizceye geçiyoruz ve sözü konuşmacılarımıza bırakacağız. Okay, now we convert the language to English, and I just gave our guests some brief introduction about each of you, the subject that you are going to speak in your session during your session. So now they have some briefly have some idea about our today's program. So I would like to give the stage to you. Good luck and have a nice webinar together.
Thank you, Mr. Imran, for starting with an insightful overview and for an introduction. So good morning and afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Himani. So I'll be the moderator of the session today. So I hope I'm audible to everyone clearly. If yes, please press heads up. So we are sitting in Delhi at 30 degrees Celsius today, so which is quite comfortable. I hope in Turkey the weather will be soothing as well. Am I audible? Yeah. Okay. So without delay in the inauguration of the seminar, I would like to mention that the webinar has been organized between the collaboration of Verco Group and the Turkish Automotive Aftermarket Association, OSS, and of course with the support of Turkish Trade Commission in India. So I would like to thank the exceptional leaders and members for being part of this webinar today. And we have organized this webinar to enhance the bilateral trade relation between India and Turkey. So guys, let's begin our session with a warm welcome. As we move forward, so now I would like to welcome Ms. Yeliz Gurlek, our next speaker. She is the commercial counselor at the Trade Commission of Turkey in India. She has a versatile personality with extraordinary skills to enhance bilateral trade. And she has been very effective in supporting many Turkish companies to do businesses with India. So please welcome Ms. Gurlek. Ms. Gurlek, do you have some questions?
You are on mute, Ms.
Yeah, she's on mute.
Şimdi oldu herhalde.
You have raised your
Okay right
hand.
now, right? Okay, it's okay right now, right?
Yes, you are now audible.
I will make a presentation about the India, but I don't know how can I share my screen, or should I share or not? I can just speak maybe on the. Is it okay?
Sure. I mean, we have the presentation. We can float it if you want, or maybe we can circulate to everybody.
Yeah, please, maybe. Yeah, if you, I mean, I'm asking to everybody. Do you want to see the format? I mean, the presentation, or should I speak only?
You can speak. It's up to you.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'm going to make a presentation about the India and the Turkish relation in terms of the commercial aspects. First of all, India is a huge populated country, as you know. 1.4 million people are living, and it's after the China, I think it's the second right now. And really, can I make the presentation Turkish or English?
I'm sharing the presentation here for you.
Can I make the presentation in Turkish?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Okay.
Should I share the presentation?
Yes, please. Çünkü prezentasyon İngilizce, dün ile Türkçe diye konuşmuştuk. Şimdi birden İngilizceye gelince şey...
Yok, Türkçe olabilir. Bizim için sorun yok.
Tamam.
Yani onlar arasında.
Tamam. Teşekkür ederim. Hindistan ülke profili...
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Hindistan ülke profili, evet, siz de paylaşıyorsunuz. Öncelikle biz sık sık zaten webinarlar hem bakanlığın inisiyatifiyle hem de diğer kuruluşların inisiyatifiyle sık sık webinarlar, online sohbetler düzenliyoruz, elektronik sohbetler. Sunumda ikinci slaytta gördüğünüz şeyden, adresten, web adresinden bundan önce yapılmış olanların hepsini görebilirsiniz. Öncelikle bu bilgiyi vermek istedim. Bu da herhalde bildiğinizde söylediğine göre başka bir yere eklenecek zaten. Hindistan 1,43 milyar dolarlık nüfusa sahip, Çin'i yakalamak üzere, geçmek üzere. Yönetimi 28 eyaletten oluşan bir ülke. Başkenti Yeni Delhi. Konuşulan 50'den fazla dil var ama resmi olarak kabul edilen Hintçe, Bengalce, Tamilce ve Urduca. Yaklaşık tüm Hindistan'da yaklaşık 40 tane yerleşik firma bulunmakta, Türk firma bulunmakta. Yeni Delhi'de 2 tane ticaret müşaviri olarak varız. Bir tane Mumbai'de ticaret ateşimiz var. Bir tane de Hyderabad'da ticaret ateşimiz var. Yani 4 tane Ticaret Bakanlığı temsilcisi olarak buradayız ve her türlü sorunlarınıza muhatap oluruz seve seve. 7/24 zaten bağlantıda kalıyoruz. Hindistan'ın ekonomik büyüklüğü 2022 yılında 3,42 trilyon dolardı. 22-23 dönemi mali yılı içinde büyümesi 7,2 olarak açıklandı. Enflasyon uzun süredir sabit 3,54. 971 milyar dolarlık bir yabancı yatırım çekmiş 2000 ile 2023 yılı arasında. Mal ihracatı 431 milyar dolar. İthalatı ise 674 milyar dolar. Hizmet ihracatı 341 milyar dolar, ithalatta 178 milyar dolar olarak gerçekleşmiş 2023-2024 döneminde. Dünya Bankası İş Yapma Kolaylığı Endeksinde 63. sırada yer alıyor Hindistan. Lojistik performansla da 38. sırada yer alıyor. Hindistan'ın dış ticaret profiline, ekonomik profiline bakmamız gerekirse İhraç yaptığı ilk 10 ürün arasında ilk sırada mineral yakıtlar geliyor. Mineral yağlar ve bunların distilasyonuyla yapılmış maddeler, ürünler. İkinci sırada doğal veya kültür incileri, değerli, yarı değerli madenler, taşlar. Üçüncü sırada elektrik makineleri ve teçhizatları. Dördüncü sırada nükleer reaktörler. Beşinci sırada eczacılık ürünleri, ilaç gibi. Railway dışındaki araçlar, tren dışındaki araçlar, organik kimyasallar, demir çelik, hububat ve demir çelikten üretilen şeyler diye sayabiliriz ilk 10 ihracat maddelerini. İthalatta ise bir saniye.
Ms. Gurlek, apology for interrupting. You
No
have
problem.
to let me know when I have to change the screen.
How will I tell you how?
Okay. I mean, you tell me which slide I have to go. I'll just keep it over there.
Now I am at which one? I am at fifth one.
Fifth one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Sure,
I am doing on my own screen. That's why I couldn't catch you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure.
Now we
Once
are
you
at
move to the next slide, you
now
let
we
me
are,
know.
okay. We are at the fifth screen right now. Hindistan'ın ihracatını yaptığı ilk 10 ülke arasında birinci sırada Amerika, ikinci sırada Birleşik Arap Emirlikleri, Hollanda, Çin, İngiltere, Singapur, Bangladeş, Suudi Arabistan, Almanya ve Hong Kong geliyor. Six slide. İthalatına baktığınızda ithalat ürünleri de aslında ihracat ürünleriyle benzer. Mineral yakıtlar, elektronik malzemeler, elektronik makineler ve ekipmanları, doğal veya kültür incisi, yarı değerli taşlar, nükleer reaktörler, organik kimyasallar, plastik ve parçaları, articles'ları, demir çelik, animal, vegetable or microbial fats yağları, hayvan yağları, hayvansal yağlar, bitkisel yağlar. 9. sırada optical araçlar var. Optical veya medical araçlar ve gübreler yer almakta 10. sırada. Next slide. İthalattaki ilk 10 ülkesi ise Hindistan'ın, birinci sırada Çin, Rusya Federasyonu, Birleşik Arap Emirlikleri, Amerika, Suudi Arabistan, Irak, Endonezya, Kore, Singapur ve İsviçre geliyor. Türkiye'nin 2023'te sırası 31. sırada yer alıyordu. Hindistan'ın ithalat yaptığı ülkeler arasında. Next slide. İkili ticaretlere bakarsak yıllara sari burada 2010 ile 2023 arasındaki ihracat, ithalat, hacim ve denge ile ilgili rakamlar mevcut. Bunlar size yani sunumda atılacağı için detaylarına inmeyeyim istiyorum, yormak istemiyorum. En son 2023'ün verilerine bakarsak ihracatımız 1.644 milyon dolar olarak gerçekleşti. %0.42 yıllık bir artış var. İthalatta 7 milyon 931 bin dolar olarak gerçekleşti. İthalatta da bu sene sevindirici bir şekilde %25.8 bir düşüş var. Toplam ticaret hacmimiz ise iki ülke arasında 9 milyon 575 bin olarak gerçekleşti. Bir önceki seneye göre 6 milyon 287 binlik bir dengede iyileşme var diyebilirim. Next slide. Hindistan'a ihraç ettiğimiz ilk 15 ürün burada sayılı. Birinci sırada mermerler, ayçiçek tohumu, dökme demir, elma, armut. Taze meyve konusunda çok avantajlıyız bu ülkede. Karbonatlar, boratlar, başka yerde belirtilmemiş taşlardan veya diğer minerallerden eşya, kuru baklagiller, karbon. Bunların hepsini zaten görüyorsunuz ve sonra zaten bakarsınız diye detaylı okumayacağım. Next slide neydi? İthalatımızda ise petrol yağları, Hindistan'dan ithal ettiğimiz ürünler, motorlu kara taşıtların aksam parçaları, telefon cihazları, işlenmemiş alüminyum, sentetik filamentlerden iplikler, mücevher eşyası, sentetik organik boyacı maddeler, ferro alyajlar, pamuk ipliği, kıvılcımlı ateşli içten yanmalı doğrusal veya döner pistonlu motorlar diye sıralanıyor. İthalat, ikili ticarette 2023 yılında belirttiğim gibi ihracatımız 1.644 milyar dolar olarak gerçekleşti. En çok ihraç ettiğimiz ürünler mermer, ayçiçek tohumu yağı, çelikten hurda, taze elma ve disodyum karbonat olarak realize oldu. Bu senenin 2024'ün 1. ve Temmuz yani Ocak ve Temmuz arasındaki ihracatı ise şu ana kadar 824 milyon dolar olarak gerçekleşti. Yine ürünler sıralaması değişse de aynı mermer, taze elmas, disodyum karbonat, disodyum tetraborat ve karbon elyaf. İthalata bakacak olursak iki ülke arasındaki 2023'te 7.931 milyar dolar olarak gerçekleşti. En çok ithalatı yapılan ürünler petrol yağları, akıllı telefon, alüminyum, mücevher ve iplik. Akıllı telefon son 2 yılda şeylere girdi, istatistiklere tepeden. Çünkü iPhone'un burada bir Apple'ın fabrikası var ve artık Türkiye Apple ürünlerini Hindistan'dan almaya başladı. Dolayısıyla ithalatımızda öyle ağırlığı arttı hem de yani dış ticarette ithalat ayağını artırmış oldu. O bizim için bir önemli bir ayrıntı. 2024 Ocak-Temmuz arasındaki ithalat ise 4 milyar dolar olarak gerçekleşti. Bunların içerisinde petrol yağları, akıllı telefon, otomobil, elmas ve iplik gelmekte. Next slide neydi? Hindistan pazarı zorlu bir pazar, onu söylemek lazım. Çok büyük bir pazar. Yani herkese her zaman söylediğimiz gibi Hindistan fırsatların çok büyük olduğu hem nüfus olarak hem coğrafya olarak sizlere çok büyük fırsatlar vaat eden bir pazar. Ama işte girmek için biraz sebat etmeniz gerekiyor. Çünkü regülasyonlar, işlerin burada yavaş ilerleyişi, yani Türkiye gibi düşünmemek lazım. O yüzden Türkiye'de bir kerede olan işler burada bir kerede olmuyor. Biraz yavaşla, sabırla işleyeceğini, yani sabır göstererek piyasaya gireceğinizi ve girdikten sonra da gerçekten çok büyük kapıların açılacağını en başta söylemek isterim. Yani o en baştaki sizi zorlayacak gibi, yani Türk sistemine alışkın olduğunuz için işlerin çok hızlı ilerlememesi ya da olması gereken hızda ilerlememesi sizi korkutmaması gerekiyor. Burası işlerin kendileri de zaten söylüyorlar yatırım şeylerinde. 3 kere 5 kere ziyarete gelerek iş toplantısı yaparak halledebileceğiniz bir bölge. Buranın avantajları işte yüksek ve büyüyen nüfusu gerçekten çok büyük bir potansiyel pazara girmek isteyenler için. Buradan Asya pazarına da giriş imkanı olduğu için o da büyük bir avantaj. Tabii ki bu kadar büyük bir popülasyonun çok da değişken tercihleri var. Ve ülkedeki şu an bizim hani zaten gözümüzde gördüğümüz çok büyük kalkınma yatırımları ve dönüşüm süreci var. Her yerde inşaat, her türlü bir yatırım yapılıyor şu an için. Dolayısıyla bu da çok büyük bir avantaj. Next slide neydi? Kısıtlar ise yüksek navlun maliyeti ve süreleri. Biraz en başta, yani biraz önce söylediğim süreler, maliyetler, onlar birazcık yansıyor navluna da. Pazarın yapısının farklı olması ve az tanınması. Gerçekten bir de buraya karşı bir pazara girmek için bir tutukluk mu diyeyim artık nasıl tanımlayacağım bilmiyorum. Bir ön yargı da demek istemiyorum ama az tanınması diyelim. Az tanındığı için özellikle Türkler bizim taraftan Türkiye'den çok pazara girmek için şey olmuyor, atılım olmuyor. O da bir kısıt bizim açımızdan. Ülkemiz ürünleri çok bilinmiyor. Bunun etkisi çok az Türk olmasının da etkisi olabilir ama gerçekten yani Türkiye'ye gidip gelen, Türkiye'yi bilen o daha üst sınıf. Tabii ki Türkiye ile ilgili çok bilgisi var ama onların da hani nüfusa oranını düşünürsek çok Türkiye'nin ürünlerinin bilindiğini söyleyemem. Fiyat rekabeti yüksek. Rekabet ortamı tabii ki çok fazla. Ve vergi oranları da yüksek ve eyalete göre değişen vergi oranları var tabii ki. Next slide neydi? Hindistan için potansiyel sektörleri biz mobilya, gıda, beyaz eşya, ev dekorasyon, üretime yönelik teknoloji yatırımları ve hazır giyim, kadın ve çocuk giyim, western tarzı, batı tarzında diye belirledik. Neydi next slide? Hindistan'la ilgili ulaşabileceğiniz ihtiyacınız olması halinde linkleri buraya koyduk. Bunlardan faydalanabilirsiniz. Genelde sizin ihtiyacınız olan bütün şeyler online açık diyebilirim. Ama yine de her türlü ihtiyacınız halinde biz ulaşılabilir durumdayız. Bir de müşavire danışım var. Belki çoğunuz biliyorsunuzdur. Müşavire danışım bakanlığın bu last slide neydi? Sorry. Müşavire danışın Ticaret.gov.tr'den her türlü sorularınızı, taleplerinizi ya da önerilerinizi her şeyi iletebilirsiniz. O direkt bakanlık üzerinden bize düşüyor. Biz de onu en kısa sürede zaten cevaplıyoruz. Onun dışında Yeni Delhi Ticaret.gov.tr, Yeni Delhi'deki biz müşavirlerin e-mail adresi, Mumbai'deki ateşimizinki bu şekilde, Hyderabad'da diğer şekilde. Bölgeye göre tabii ki hepimizin bu üç ticaret müşavirliğinin sorumluluk alanları farklı olduğu için Yeni Delhi bölgesine girenleri biz cevaplıyoruz. Mumbai ve Hyderabad'sa arkadaşlar. Dolayısıyla hepinize hem e-mail ile hem müşavire danışımla her şekilde ulaşabilirsiniz. Çok hızlı zaten geri dönüş oluyor. E-mailleri de çok hızlı dönüş oluyor. Şimdilik Hindistan'la ilgili verebileceğim overall bilgiler bu şekilde. Daha ayrıntılı bilgiye ihtiyacınız olursa ve elimin altında bilgi varsa tabii ki verebilirim. Onun dışında da hem telefonla hem de dediğim elektronik kanallarla bize muhakkak ulaşabilirsiniz. Teşekkür ediyorum.
Thank you, Ms. Gurles, for highlighting the support that Turkey offers to its businesses in India. So it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Pradeep Sridharan, Managing Director of Webinarı Group, with over 30 years of global experience in automotive, telecom, and IoT sectors. So please welcome Mr. Sridharan. Is he here?
You are on mute, Mr. Pradeep Sridharan.
Yeah. So you are on mute.
No, we can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself.
Please check now.
You can open your micro yourself.
Is it audible?
Yeah, now it's working.
Oh.
Very well. Okay. Apologies for that mild challenge what we had to start with. Very good morning to my brothers and sisters in Turkey. And thank you, Elise. I'm sure that although I don't understand Turkish, you have told all the good things. Nevertheless, so I have a 10 to 12 minutes of presentation, in which I'm going to talk about three fundamental things. If Nidhi can put across the slides for that matter, that would be of help. While
Yes.
that's coming up, of the three things we're talking about, one is that why we have to do business with India. The second thing is about a little bit of an understanding about automobile sector, and then the government and the regulatory support, what the Indian government provides into the automobile sector. I think I cannot see the slides. Hopefully it is coming up. But while it is coming up, let me tell you, the relationship between India and Turkey has been starting from 1500 BCE. I don't know how many people know about this. I've been given to understand that although I come from the southern part of India, one of the old kings in southern part of India has gifted a village to the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum in the 12th century. And I recognize that we have more than 30,000 people at this point in time with Turkish heritage in Tamil Nadu. That's a long relationship which went further with the Ottomans and further and further. And as of now, we stay with $13.8 billion of trade between both the countries. This engagement, we are actually working towards to see how effectively we can increase that bilateral trade relationships. If I move to the next slide, and I hold there, I'm going to talk about the first why India part of the story in the next couple of minutes time. It's a very difficult slide to talk about, but I'll try to make it quick. I want to make sure that you understand the fact in the last almost 2 decades now, India is moving through a very unprecedented transformation, obviously in a global scale, which very less countries have witnessed in the recent past. And when I say the transformation, it is about social, it is about economic, it is about political. And the most interesting thing is that all three pillars come in singularity with the objective in terms of transforming the nation. And why this is important is because we want to see economically the country doing well. We want to see socially the country is doing well, and there's a political stability. Hence, there is a possibility of both the countries working much more better. So from an Indian standpoint, if you look at one of the pillars of economy, normal measure of that one is the GDP. You all know that India today stands at $3.95 trillion of economy. Interesting part, the first trillion of India came in 67 years. The second trillion came in 8 years. The third trillion came in 5 years. And possibly the last one, which we are working on because we are close to 4 trillion, will be in less than that time, which tells you this, the pace and the scale in terms of this market is growing. A second element would be the amount of foreign direct investment which comes into the country. Because when there is foreign direct investment coming, it tells you the trust the investors has in the country. It talks about the opportunity which is there. It talks about the leadership. It talks about the access to opportunity. It talks about the delivery in that place and the possibility of making money, right? So from 1947, when we got independence, till this point, roughly India has got $950 billion of investment. Let me tell you of that one, 532 came up in the last 100 months. Which means, which you will figure out saying that the speed in terms of how things are happening. And this came from 162 countries, including Turkey. Turkey today has roughly around $210 million of investment in India. Obviously, it should go much more further. India also has around $126 million of investment in Turkey. And this came across all the 31 states and union territories, what we have, which talks about the breadth and the length in terms of this transformation, which is happening from an economic standpoint. What is supporting this economic drive is the social part of the story. I'll give you one indicator about it. In the last year, we become the most and the biggest human resource provider in the world. I remember, we saying that we are second best, but I think now we are number one in India in terms of human resources. We are a 1.45 billion population. And what this gives you is that I have 1 billion people who are lesser than 35 years of age. I have my average age of 29, and more importantly, I'm going to the youngest nation till 2070, which means that my productivity is expected to be at the height, at least for the next 5 decades. That's the social part of the story, which means that you have a huge possibility to leverage the productivity of this nation. The economic as well as the social element both could become into a little bit of a challenge if you don't have political stability. Now, the political stability could be well measured by the election processes and things like that as an indicator. I'll give you an interesting insight around that one. We had the recent elections like the way in Turkey as well. We had around close to 1 billion people who are registered voters, around 950 million types. We have around 600 and odd million people who casted their vote. We had in 1 million polling booths for that matter. And you should be surprised to know that we had only less than 200 polling booths which went for a repoll, which means that automotive industry, which always talks about the precision in terms of Six Sigma levels, this huge activity of democracy was delivered in better than Six Sigma levels. That's the stability what we are talking about from a political standpoint. These verticals of social, economic, political activity coming to a singularity drives India to become one of the biggest opportunities in the market. And that completes my first point, saying that why foreign companies should do business in India. If I move to the second point, which is the overview of the Indian automotive business landscape, I'll request Nidhi to go to the next slide. We talk about that in 4 pointers. Maybe the slide is expected to come up.
Are you able to see the slide?
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much. And the executive summary of that one primarily says that from a market segmentation, typically people talk about 4 segments of vehicles what we have. And today I will talk about a little bit on the focusing on the two-wheelers, because this is a market where two-wheelers are significantly higher, which is dominating at a massive 75%. We have a huge projection in terms of from an industry growth standpoint, where by 2026 we are supposed to be a 300 billion opportunity. Everywhere electric vehicles are driving the conversation. India's two-wheeler and three-wheeler conversation on EVs are also leading that stuff. And we have a very low car penetration. This is an important point to know. If you look at the European markets or the US markets, where you have the global average of 314 cars per 1,000, we are at a very low 24 cars per 1,000, which means that even to reach a global average, we have a significant opportunity in terms of growth, which we're going to see through the next couple of decades to come. Moving forward. Slide, please. I'll talk about a little bit of a evolution of the Indian automotive sector, especially the four-wheeler part of the story. In my younger days, essentially, I should be a believer of the Ford guys, wherein which there was only a few cars available, which means that there is only one color of the car available as per, and it's black, like the chairman of Ford said. But nevertheless, there is only 3 Ford. There's an Ambassador, there is a 3 Padmini, and a few others for that matter. But those all changed by 83 with Maruti coming up, which is now the biggest market player in India. And then a complete, delicensing of the activity, which brought in all the foreign market players. I'll say almost all the foreign market players in the top end to the absolute bottom available in the Indian markets. And from 2020 onwards, we see a significant shift in the two-wheeler and the three-wheeler story, which means that we're seeing a graph which is actually moving towards the north, which is a phenomenal opportunity in the Indian automotive sector. And if I move forward. I'm sure the details of this one will be spoken about in the next from the next speakers who are much more better than me in the automotive sector. But from a very high level standpoint, we have a very strong production growth. You can see the numbers, 12.5 million units which are produced on an annualized basis across. And then we are talking about a record of domestic sale. I mean, this is very important to note, primarily because even in the GDP part of the story, which I mentioned before, 2/3 of the demand is coming from India itself. It is demand ahead of the supply, which is a great position to be. And we have a 42 billion opportunity we are talking at this point in time, with the export growing at a 15%, which means that if Turkish companies was to come to India, join hands in India, and to work to other parts of the market, or to support the internal demand, what we have, both are absolutely phenomenal. Moving forward. Telecommunications have a little bit of delays normally, and talking about the recent trends at this point in time, very high level. When we have an increased GDP, when we have a very aspirational India coming up, when we have a much more younger people who are getting more purchase capabilities with a higher purchase parity, you see more luxury vehicles coming on the roads and people buying it. And we see that one essentially in which even the top end luxury cars are being bought in higher numbers, which is a great sign. There is an adaptability of local preferences which are required, because India is something like Europe, and the whole of Europe comes together with different views and things, and from Spain back to the UK, the same way. One part of India will like something, some part of India will dislike something. So there is an amount of local preferences which are there, and the companies are working towards in terms of supporting the same thing. And to enhance the possibility of purchase, there is financing options which has been built by the automotive players into the whole activity itself. Although their core business is automotive, they ensure that there are financing mechanics available in terms of doing it. These are the very recent high-level trends which we see, which is all driving the conversation to make the engagement or the opportunity bigger and bigger. Moving forward. Okay, so some strategies when talk about, and I think there has to be some elements where you need to be careful about as well, as that's our job. So I think we see a significant investment possibility. We see innovative models coming in. We'll talk about that later. We have a growing EV trend. But at the same time, I want you to be mindful of the fact that it's a highly competitive market, which means that here the competition is in the highest extent, and you have to be there to have the strategies to manage the competition. Infrastructure currently is getting better and better. It currently still has its challenges, but it's getting better and better, which is also a great thing, but it's also a challenge. We have some regulatory hurdles which are there, which needs to, especially on the import part of the story with higher tariffs, which are still work in progress, I would sense, as per the government, but these are still available in the market, or we are faced with in that market. Now, we have a rising demand for EVs and EVs at this point in time. There are government incentives which are very, very helpful. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. There are technological advancements which are done with in-house research and development opportunities in India, which is expected and which is supported by the government. We also see some supply chain disruptions if the global, geopolitical situation turns a little bit more difficult. So essentially, those are the challenges which are currently there and the opportunities there. It's sort of a SWOT thinking. So people who are wanting to come to India should consider these as one of the key things to look into. Moving forward. I spoke about the government policies which are supporting the whole thing. I think there is a few names which I put across are full opportunities. There is something called the NATRIP establishment, which is primarily a research and development engagement in terms of a USD close to $400 million of support if you are doing research and development here and supporting the automotive production. You have an AMP program which supports the automotive engagements. We can talk about it in detail if you want to. There is a FAME scheme, which primarily, I'm sure you are aware about the faster adaptation from manufacturing part of the story, which is also driven through. There's a clean tech scheme in terms of seeing how effectively we can solve money budgeted and earmarked to the whole thing to see how we can make the clean tech much more better, which means that it is more green supported. There is a huge PLI, which is the production linked incentives, the volumes as when you are making it as a part of Make in India, which is supported as well. There's a flex fuel engines which are supported mixing with ethanol and other fuels which are there. That's currently in progress and currently available. Moving to 7, 8, and 9, maybe. Ethanol blending is something which the government is pushing significantly higher, and I'm sure that over the time we would see that happening. There is a policy which has been rolled out to bring it forward by 2025, 26. With the EVs coming into play, we are expecting battery waste to be a menace, and there are policies to support that one, and electric mobility promotion schemes which are currently there as well. So every single policy and initiative is towards the directive of helping the situation, as we all know in all governments. Details of this could be provided. As in the interest of time, I'm moving to the next slide. The future trends, we spoke about it a little bit. Connected vehicles been the trend for the last 10 years. We see it more and more happening. We see more autonomous vehicle coming for that matter, and we are going to see more sustainability conversation going through. And I think we see this happening through the next 15 to 20 years is what we are currently aiming at. And moving forward, I want to come to my last slide, essentially. And this is a slide which I want to put across to you, where in which, you have people from Turkey who's wanting to come to India. And we, as the Gateway of India, would love to be a part of it to ensure that we can help you from ensuring that you want to have joint ventures, you want to have supply chain, distribution channels built in, entire value chain to support the thing, we can do it. In summary, apart from Verco as an organization supporting it, I would like to welcome you to India, because this is the country where you have to be and working through, because in the next 8,500 days, when I become 100 years old from my independence, I'll be one of the biggest markets in the world. I'll be the fastest growing economy. I'll be the fastest growing from an automobile standpoint as well. I will have 21% of the global workforce in India. I'll have 20% of the middle class in India. This is the new India, which is aspiring for, which is dreaming with you and want to grow with you. I welcome you all to the Indian market. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pradeep sir, for throwing the light on the history of the Indian automotive market and for sharing the industry insights. So now I would like to welcome Mr. Sitanshu Goswami, Director of the Automotive Division at Verco Group, with over 3 decades of leadership experience in the automotive and engineering industries. So please welcome Mr. Goswami.
Thanks, Himani. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, let me quickly pull out my screen. Let me know when you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
It is visible.
So, thank you, first of all, because you had very nicely put the entire industry as well as opportunities to work in India. To take it further, I will be talking about the details of aftermarket. But before that, I would like to because we have a long history where automotive has gifted us many things, out of which tulip is one of the best things which was gifted to India on 16th century, and it has traveled across India now. It originally came to north of India, a place called Shalimar Bagh in Srinagar, and now today we see it also in Delhi. So this is one of the best gifts which everyone cherishes till date. So that's how the relationship exists between the two countries. So coming to the market overview. So overall, as Pradeep has also mentioned, India has a very large market. In fact, the automotive market is today the third largest in the world, following China and America. But if you talk about aftermarket, automotive aftermarket itself is 10 billion estimated in 2023 and is expected to grow 1.4 times. So we'll touch somewhere around 14 billion in 2028. So this is a huge market, and this is purely because of the constant growth of the automotive in the entire Indian market. We are, as Pradeep mentioned, we are predominantly a two-wheeler market. Our 70-80% of the total sale is of motorcycles, scooters, and rest is all passenger vehicle in terms of passenger cars, utility vehicles, vans, and some portion of commercial vehicles. Overall, last year we made 28.5 million vehicles, and it has been constantly growing since post-COVID. There has been certain dip in the COVID period, but beyond that, this is continuously growing, and we see a positive growth coming forward in the years to come. Aftermarket is also experiencing the same growth as automotive is increasing, so is the aftermarket. So this penetration will continue further. Today, if you see, the entire market outlook is driven by certain factors. One, the increasing vehicle penetration, which is currently somewhere around, 3-4%, 5% is the current situation, which is very low as per global standard, is very, very low. So that is an opportunity that we can go actually, and this would all add to both automotive as well as the aftermarket side. Growth in automotive maintenance is also becoming a big business in India today. Then all the market that we are seeing today, somehow country is little positive. So people are expecting products that are coming to Indian market higher quality but cost effective. And this is a challenge which of course can be handled here with the global partnership. Then we see a lot of change in trend in terms of e-commerce platforms. Most of the aftermarket products are slowly getting into e-commerce platforms where there's a high visibility. People are using different kind of platforms to spread their product across the globe or across the country, which earlier was not possible. There has to be a lot of physical presence required to put a product visibility. So aftermarket industry is today playing a crucial role in consumer behavior here. And this is in the concerns. So why India? So I think Pradeep has already mentioned a lot of points, but yes, the key points is India is definitely the third largest market in the world. In terms of two-wheeler, we are the largest in the world. We produced 21 million two-wheelers last year. We are world's largest tractor manufacturer. There I see a close link between Turkey. Turkey has a very good market in tractors, where a lot of tractors and agriculture product can be brought into India. So this is another market which is strongly growing, and we are one of the largest in the world. And heavy commercial vehicle and car manufacturing, we are the third largest in the world. And this market is continuously expected to grow at a rate of almost 9% till 2030, and may go beyond this also. Due to geopolitical situation, major portion of manufacturing is shifting towards India, which earlier used to be our neighbor China. But today, a lot of companies are using India as a major hub for manufacturing and sourcing of products and parts. Now, what are the strategic advantages? One, we have a vast consumer base. That is a good sign that there are people who would buy vehicles, and hence the market have a requirement for the components. There is an emerging EV segment, which is India is one of the countries which is strongly pushing EV automotive into the market, and supported by strong policies of government. So that's another additional opportunity apart from the standard conventional vehicle. A lot of automotive products get added to the EV vehicles. Ample opportunity for collaboration in India. India are very open to form partnership and take a kind of whatever JV or a kind of contract manufacturing or various other kind of possibilities to collaborate and form parts here and can be sold within India and exported to some other countries as well. The net per capita income of India is increased drastically. It has increased almost 56%. If you see, we were $871 in 2014-15 period. Today it is almost $1,300 in the last year. We are the world's youngest nation with the average of below 25. By 2025, we would be one of the world's youngest nation. So there's a huge workforce available to do this. And expected vehicle penetration in next year is expected to be 72 vehicles per 1,000, which is way beyond the market. Currently, global market, if you see any big country like US or China, China itself is around 300 vehicles per 1,000. US is around 800 to 900 vehicles per 1,000. Europe and some other countries like that, Canada is around 800, Europe is around 600, Brazil is also around 600. So if you see 72 versus if I take any of the lowest countries, like even if China, if I to take 300 vehicles per 1,000, is a massive market. So if this much penetration happens in next few years, that will also require a huge potential, I mean, open up a huge potential for the aftermarket products. So what are the market dynamics? So there are three market dynamics and trends which are controlling the aftermarket today. One, rise of EV vehicles. We see a lot of adoption of EV happening in India, especially because of the government has made policies to support this development, and it is happening at a good pace. But this will not completely remove the entire IC engine-based products. This will coexist, as Pradeep also mentioned. There will be multiple other options of fuel, like people are also working on hydrogen, there are ethanol-based fuels. There are so many other blendings are available now. So all of this will coexist, but still the advantage of getting into EVs, we get additional components apart from the conventional vehicle, which can be also sourced. Let's say for EV charging infrastructure is another big market where people are now supplying portable chargers for the two-wheelers, as India has a large two-wheeler base. So portable chargers are also in great demand. Apart from that, we have huge market for batteries and other electronics required for the EV product. Digital transformation of aftermarket service, when I say it is mainly talking about the e-commerce platform. Today, if you want to spread across the entire length and width of the country, it is essential that we utilize these e-commerce platforms where we can digitally present ourselves in a way so that every corner of the country people know the product, and this is possible. There are some large organizations, I don't want to name them, but they are working through this, because of which the reach of the products across the country has drastically improved and has also improved the sales according to this. People are using different kind of AI tools or various kind of IoT-based programs to understand the data, the diagnostics, and the sales behavior and the pattern and consumption. So that gives us a very good understanding as what kind of product is sold in what kind of city or state, and how it has to be maintained in a way so that every customer or user is happy about it. With the growing demand of this market, since the current population, what we have in India, the salaries are increasing drastically. The income per person or per family is increased drastically. If you see, it has changed up to almost 27% increase has happened. This has increased because of the industry improvement, the GDP has improved, and that has also increased the sales of the vehicle. The vehicle sale, if you see from 22 to 23, has increased by 27%, and similar number has come in the last year also. So this penetration also has been improving the vehicle inside the country and also in affecting the entire market in terms of the products and very aftermarket products, and also customizable products also. We'll talk about those as we go ahead. One more change in the trend that we notice is since there is a large network of road available today, government has spent a lot of money in improving the road infrastructure. This has resulted in people traveling from one place to another place by their own vehicle. So more and more people are buying their own vehicle. Rather, earlier they were traveling either by trains or by aircraft. Today, that has changed. People enjoy this long drives through their own vehicle, and that has also resulted in a lot of new addition in terms of vehicle buying. We are also seeing an increase in the sale of our products, after-sale products, because the more we run the vehicles, the life of the parts and components also reduces. Based on that, the additional components are also procured in the market. The regulatory environment, government of India has made policies in a way that it is a little higher. It varies from 10 to 30%. that's because more and more people should manufacture locally. So there is a design to encourage local production. And that is why I see companies coming from Turkey and actually the local people and do this local manufacturing. And there are benefits available of doing local manufacturing. There are incentives given by government if you are producing E-related products, you get fee-related incentives. If you are in other general production, then you get schemes where you can avail a lot of tax benefits, and that makes your product more competitive, which you can sell in India and also try to export to other places where you are already present in market. Quality and emission standards are par with global. We are using BS6, which is equivalent of Euro 6 in Europe. So if you're already present in any other European country, so you can bring those products straight away into India. You can localize the manufacturing here. That will bring down the cost. So you, without changing anything in the product, you can use them straight away. By localizing it here, you can bring down the cost, and then maybe you can export it back to those countries where you are already present in Europe, and also sell it in India. Other than that, recent government policies have been to implement this worker scrappage policy. This will again boost the sales of automotive and hence the aftermarket products. And about EV promotion, as we already spoke about, there are policies to encourage EV growth in India. So any product developed in this direction would also help in further expanding the market. The consumer behavior, it's important to understand India is a slightly different market. One, if you see broadly, there are these four topics that we talk about. One, it is very cost sensitive. We are looking for a better quality at a very economical price, and that is affordable and possible also. I mean, people have been testing it out and they have developed it. If you remember, we developed Nano in India, which is the smallest car in the world and also the cheapest car in the world, and it still exists. So this kind of technological changes is possible, and India has taken that. So once you try to get into a market where you can produce a part at a local cost, then it opens a market for you for the rest of the world, because you are then doing it at a much cheaper price where you can then sell and export to different countries and have a better margin and profitability. Brand trust is something in India. There are a certain section of people who are very brand loyal and they would like to go ahead with certain brands. So it is very important that while you sell your products in large scale, also try to build a brand into the country. Otherwise, without a proper brand, and your acceptance will be little low. People will not come to know about it. So it is important to create a good brand perception that will have a good trust from different consumers and customers, and that will give you a good growth within the country and outside the country as well. Popular after sales services, if you see, most of the companies today are using various kind of what do you call it, the electronic media, where they are trying to achieve sales repair work through a certain online portal, and they get access to these parts and products to those portals, and then they try to sell it. So it is important while you make products, you also try to get in touch with certain platforms through which you can bring your product to a larger people than only to a certain section of market or certain cities, states, like that. So it is important to understand the dynamics and also cater to a larger segment of people. In India, the people have a different kind of choices, and it is sometimes region based also. If you see the kind of consumers we see in North than in West or South, you will see a lot of difference. And because of which, there are a lot of people maybe in the north of India, if you see, they buy a new vehicle and they implement or buy an additional infotainment system, a large music system, they change seat covers, they add a lot of fills, a lot of aesthetic upgrades they do. So these kind of products may be more required towards the north than in the west or south. So this also gives you a large variety of products that can be brought into India and can be sold to different consumers. Digital adoption and e-commerce, as I said, today a lot of companies are selling their product online to certain standard portals, and it is it is necessary today because a lot of young generation are using this kind of softwares or digital platform where they want to see a product. They will first like to evaluate it. So it is important when you bring in a product, you also get in touch with certain platforms where you can kind of showcase your product and can reach to a larger segment of people. So what would be the entry strategies in India? These are different steps which would be necessary for making an entry into Indian market. First of all, since it's a new market for you, it is essential that you do a good market research. Without doing a proper market research, you would not understand the competitive landscape, pricing strategy, behavior, consumer pattern, consumption of products in different zones. So it is important to do a good study to understand what you want to make and where is it consumed and who's consuming, how much is consumed. So this is the first and foremost step and very essential to become successful company here in India. Second, joint venture or any local partnership. It is better to do a local joint venture or partnership in India because that would give you a good understanding of local market, a good distribution channel, and also various other regulatory requirements which a local person would know better than you. So it is important that you find a suitable partner in India who could give you this kind of information. That will be an easy step for your success. Setting up distribution network, India is fairly large and diverse market. And there are regions where distribution is really challenging. So it is important to understand those distribution regions and to build a strategy so that you are able to reach each and every customer who is present in every corner of the country. For which, again, there are ways to do it. We can always support that. So, but it is important that you understand that. And these regions have their own way of consumption of product and their own choices of so products are also tailor-made to suit those kind of regions. So you have to understand the market, which comes from the market research. You understand the consumer pattern and behavior, and they're based on their geography, what kind of products is used or consumed in certain pattern. You'll have to build a robust logistic network as well. As country is fairly big, people have to take products from one corner to the another corner of the country. So you need to have a reliable source or logistic network where you can make sure that all your product reaches on time and is available to a customer. Customer should not be waiting for a product for a long time. Otherwise, they lose interest and eventually they lose trust on the brand. Manufacturing and assembly operation, we spoke about. It is best to do a local manufacturing that would give you a low price. Also, you can avail all the tax benefits under the Make in India program, which will help you to make a competitive product at a competitive pricing. Product and service localization, add products and services to meet the local needs. As I said, a lot of global products that we see rest of the world is using those. There is a certain amount of tweaking done to suit the Indian adaptation. So it is essential that you must understand India culturally and economically so that you will be able to design products which can suit the local requirement. And that calls for a small R&D, if not big, at least a small R&D should be there where you can innovate on those products which are preferences of Indian consumer. And this will all come out in a good market research that what kind of product we currently use and how they are tailored to suit the Indian consumers. And we spoke about digital platforms. It is essential once you have products in place to reach to a larger audience, you use a digital platform. And there are platforms today like even Facebook, Instagram. These are the things where people are seeing different products, including full car also. Even the luxury brands are also displayed there. The question is, you must get into use of such social media platforms where you can reach out to a larger segment of people and also the targeted customer, because you may design certain products like a seat cover for two-wheelers. You may like a stylish seat cover which you want a younger generation to get. So you can design online platform in a way that these reaches to a certain section of people who are young college goers who would see your product and would prefer to buy it. And similarly, certain general products and certain safety related for the aged people also you would like to prefer. So those kind of sales is possible online, which otherwise through a outlet is difficult to reach to different customers. No, we talk about challenges, and I will also talk about the solutions. So what are the big challenges that we see? Challenges are strong competition from the local player. It is not an easy market. Though you want to come here, you do a good homework, and then you can be successful. It is not that market is not easy, doesn't mean people don't succeed here. People are here, need the product, and that's also. So there will be a strong competition from local players. The numerous local established players are already available who are already selling their products for ages, and they have aggressive pricing strategies in place. So if you are coming here, do a good homework where you can meet those challenges. So, but keep in mind that these challenges are there. A strong competition would be there. Supply chain complexities, we talked about the complexity of India. We have one side Himalayas, we have one side, other side sea. So the country has such a diverse geography that to reach out every corner, it is challenged at times. So you need to have a good strategy for the logistics to meet these remote locations. And I don't know, some people might have noticed that Suzuki used to advertise in India that we are present with our service station even in Himalayas. So these are the kind of advertisement they have been doing, because there were a lot of companies who are not present in the extreme north of India or northeast of India because of hilly terrain, because of difficulty in reaching, bringing the components, parts, or vehicle to that level. But today, there are different solutions available. So question is, this complexity you need to keep in mind and create a network in which you can meet this. Regarding the different regulatory requirements, I think if you partner with a local person here, it is all local company here, it will be possible to address. But that is also a challenge. Different states have different regulatory requirements at times, because of there could be certain amount of interest, but that can be addressed. And price pressure, as I said, there are already established there. They may be very big. So once you bring in your product, they might cut down the pricing. There could be a certain price war happening at initial stage, but in the end, your product, your quality, and your reach to a different to the different segment of society will finally define who succeeds in this war. So price wars are always initial war where people try to threaten the competitor by bringing down the prices, but in the long run, it doesn't go for a longer period. So if you are really giving a good product and making a good product at an economical price, even not the lowest price, still you will be able to capture a good market, which can take you ahead for months. Solutions, supply chain optimization is possible. Today, there are different kinds of tools and data available, which you can analyze to understand what kind of market state is there, what is the consumer pattern, what is the consumption in terms of different zones, regions, and segment of vehicle. And based on that, you can always optimize your inventories. You can create an efficient logistic and warehousing solutions to address this kind of supply chain issues. You can use blockchain method where which you can, across the country, you can manage all the deliveries, consumptions, outlets, order placement, everything can be handled in a single tracking device. So that is possible. So this is one of the solutions that you can use for supply chain. Innovative marketing strategy, we spoke about that we need to create a strong brand. So whatever brand we make here in India has to be strong in the sense that it meets all the local cultural and values of Indian society. So if you are able to do that, I think there is nothing of your success. You have to utilize the social media in such a effective way that you are able to reach out to different segment of society and can propose a product matching their expectation. That's the best way to do marketing of your own strategic partners, and that is something which we can always do out. Adaptation and localization, you need to make product to suit Indian conditions, because India has such a variety of temperature. As you go towards north or northeast, the temperature is almost throughout the year cold. It is cold or extreme winter. If you go to middle of country, you have extreme heat. We go down south, it is moderate and humid. So variety of temperature ranges there. Based on that, your product definition, behavior also changes. Not everything can be used everywhere. So you have to design products which can suit this kind of temperature changes and withstand this. So best is to make it locally here, understand the requirements, and do a design based on the Indian conditions. And lastly is the focus training and development. I've seen many companies in India who have brought in product, very good product, but it didn't succeed because they never trained the workers. The complexity of assembly or fixing it with on the vehicle, it created so much of hassle that they finally decided not to use the product. So then on this, they avoid using such complex products. They always go for something which is simple, easy to do it. So it is best to give training to each and every worker or the end user so that they understand your product, its intricacies, and also able to fix it in a way so that it delivers the desired result when they use it in their vehicle. So this is very important to do a focused training and development for the workforce that is going to use these products on assembling in different vehicles. To achieve all this, what we have spoken, I spoke about a lot of things. Many places I said it also, but I think that is not to worry about. So what we do is Worko has a very strong team of partners and consultants who have spent their life going different organizations, and they can definitely help you. We have in total more than 500 years of experience in various fields, so we can do this handholding and whatever is necessary from market research to the final delivery of product or execution. So these are three key areas where we work. We call it ACE. So we do everything. We support in terms of right from the market research to consulting, and finally execution of a project where maybe you are looking for a joint venture or a technology transfer or a contract manufacturing tie-up. So whatever model suits based on your product and your vision, we can do it. So that's where Worko can do a hand-holding with you to make you succeed in Indian market. So as we say, we transform visions into ventures. So thank you, everyone, and look forward to see you next time. I would prefer to present a Turkish company who is already become established in India and like to tell others that this is how we did this here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the overview, challenges and solutions for the automotive Indian market, and for sharing the possible steps that the Turkish company can take to enter into the Indian market. So I would like to invite Mr. Umesh Shah. He is the principal partner of the automotive aftermarket division at Worko Group, with over 45 years of experience in leading automotive firms. So please welcome Mr. Jha.
Thank you, Hemani. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Dear friends, it's a privilege for me to speak to such a intelligent group and leadership from business leadership of Turkey aftermarket organization. As my earlier speakers friend have told that India is a great opportunity and rapidly growing economically. Automobile industry is likely to be third largest in time to come after China and USA. Friends, globalization leads to newer technology adoption and opportunities. Aftermarket segment is really a very prestigious business and a growth potential. As you know, the aftermarket business start after the vehicle is sold. That means if there was no aftermarket, it was difficult to even ensure the smooth running of the vehicle on the road. So with this mind, whenever there a population is higher, the potential is higher for aftermarket, as you must be knowing. Higher the vehicle population, higher the potential of the market. And in my previous experiences as leading the aftermarket team of great companies, I found and I defined that this is the only business segment which is recession free. Aftermarket never goes into recession, and it has helped in ensuring the motorization of India and motorization of any country. Even South Korea is one of the examples where motorization took place rapidly because of the very good aftermarket segment. Indian aftermarket does offer a great opportunity for all the stakeholders pan the world, as now we have the global visibility in Indian market. All national, international brands are here, and all components are being manufactured here, being used here, being exported and imported. So I am making an effort. I'm making an effort through this presentation to bring to you insights about the Indian aftermarket industry. The market industry, as you can see the slide, is growing because of the global growth, Indian growth. India is becoming the largest consumer itself, being the #1 populated country in the world. We have all the segments in Indian industry that's starting from commercial vehicle to light commercial vehicle to passenger car, including two-wheeler, three-wheelers, tractors, and even off-the-road vehicle like land moving equipment. We are already having #1 company in the world manufacturing two-wheelers and #1 industry of tractors. In fact, our and Turkey's culturally and economically have many of the similarities, which I did experience myself when I visited Turkey almost 4 years back, 5 years back, during the Automechanical Turkey. Next slide, please. Can you move to this? Yeah. Now going typically to the aftermarket. See, aftermarket is very diversified business, as you are knowing it, because you are a very experienced business people in the aftermarket segment. And as I told you, there is similarity between aftermarket segment culturally and the quality and the nature of the business as it done in Turkey as also being done in India. So in India, the vehicle segmentation are say commercial vehicle, passenger vehicle, which include car and two-wheeler, then tractors and off-the-road vehicle. Why I am highlighting it? Because each segment has a different aftermarket business itself. The nature of doing business in commercial vehicle may be will be different than doing the business in say two-wheeler segment. The selling of parts, the type of part, the quality of parts, this will be different in all the organization, in all the vehicle segment. If you are making parts for the commercial vehicle, your nature of doing business in India will be different than if you're making parts for two-wheelers because of the different type of distribution channel and the product movement from the manufacturer to the end customer in India. Next slide, please. This slide, as you will see, will show the segmentation within the vehicle group. Aftermarket, as I told you and as I explained to you, this is the business after the vehicle is sold, the post-sale business. And since the new vehicle sale is growing, the aftermarket is growing, although the cycle period is say 3 to 4 years after new vehicle is sold. So population keep increasing on the Indian road and the business keep growing. So it becomes a recession-free segment. Now within the aftermarket, if we diversify our parts and component segmentation, there's a engine component, there's a suspension component, there's a brakes, transmission, clutch, then there's a electrical component, then there's a steering system, then there are accessory system, and there are consumable like lubricants oil. So these are the segmentation within the aftermarket. So some of you must be dealing in engine parts only. Some of must be targeting the electrical parts of future. One must be in your gear system or transmission system. So it's a clear segmentation of the business in the aftermarket, pan world and also pan India. So we have to consider ourselves which segment we will can enter, because each segment offers a great opportunity. Next slide. Now in India, as you know, there's a huge demand of parts. And sometimes the parts which are required are not able to be met by the automobile manufacturer or the tier 1, tier 2 manufacturers. So there are so many imports taking place through organized channel, unorganized channel, and there are also imitated parts, or we can say counterfeit parts. That's why I am bringing this slide to you, that we have very clearly defined genuine parts, which are actually from OE spares or from tier 1, tier 2 parts that are made for the OEMs. Then there are certified parts. These are independently branded parts which meet the OEM qualities, the OES qualities. And they are really helping the aftermarket or automobile industry, growing. Then there are counterfeit parts. Counterfeit parts or imitated parts or duplicate parts, as we call it, is just imitating a visible brand in the market. As they say, aftermarket is a show window of automotive industry. If you want to really make your brand popular or you want to become known, you have to enter the aftermarket. But there is strict legislation, a law which ban the usage of counterfeit parts because of quality or challenge on the security of the vehicle. Then there are other segment like niche segment which cater to OTR vehicle, or which cater to own personal choices of redesigning the car or your passenger vehicle. That comes in the aftermarket part. So you have to define yourself before planning to come here, that which segment. Of course, the counterfeit are not acceptable. Yes, we can introduce our brand, or we can have our joint branding strategy while entering into India. There is a great demand for each product. The value for money is the main concept. It has been defined earlier speaker that it's a price sensitive market. Yes, it is a price sensitive market. That does not mean that we need to sell cheap part. It only means that our parts price is a value for money. That means we offer much more qualitative inputs or the benefits for the parts which we are bringing to India, for which there is a great opportunity. Next slide. This slide, I am trying to give an insight that how the product is distributed in India, which is a very big, vast country geographically, with different languages, different culture. Generally, the business is divided into B2B and B2C. As you know, B2B is business to business, where the role of distributors come. The companies bring the material to distributors, distributor goes to dealer, dealers goes to sub-dealers, and they go to the ultimate end user, which is the remotest part of the chain. So if you're bringing parts in India, you may have to have one organization who can represent you, say like Worko, which we can, help in, bringing the parts in India and then redistributing it. Or you can have distribution organization in India. Then there's a B2C, which is a direct sale to the customer. This is retailer to customer. B2B is company to, distributor and distributor dealer. There are many large distributors in India or wholesalers and who cater to the need of retailers. And there are workshops. For example, I have given this, that for engine component only, although not mentioned in this slide, for engine component only, there are 500 distributors, around 500 distributors, and around 2,000 wholesalers. The difference between wholesaler and distributor is. Distributor is a organized office which, have the system of logistic, warehousing, then dealer network of their own, where the wholesaler is a kind of freelancer. He, buy the things and sell the thing. And a bigger, wholesaler where distributor can't reach. Now, retailers are the last, shopkeeper of parts which cater to the customer like you or me, or who are the owner of vehicle. Are you owner vehicle, two-wheeler or car or truck? We can go to retailers. In this also, the segmentation is very clear. As I told you in the beginning, for engine parts, they will be different distributors and different down the line chain to dealers. For two-wheeler parts, they're absolutely different distribution network. So you cannot expect one distributor to cater to all the segmentation. So you have to really take call on which segment you want to enter, whether it is commercial vehicle or it is a car, passenger vehicle, or say two-wheelers, where of course we can really help to identify and to enter the Indian market. Next slide. Another concept which is in aftermarket is very, very strong. And, during my earlier experience days, I named it also pull and push strategy. That's a business linkage. If you really want to be successful in aftermarket business in India and want to become a leader, you have to have service, a strong linkage between distributor who sells to dealer who sells to customer, and there's a workshop owner who plays a role of influencer. Just to explain it more clearly, that if I am a vehicle owner, I need my vehicle to be repaired, I'll go to workshop. The workshop specialist will guide me what parts I need, from where I need, what is the quality parameter, what is the price requirement. Then we go to retailer. If retailer has that part, he gives, otherwise he goes to distributor and get the part. So distributor need to maintain the dealer network. Dealer network has to have the linkages with the workshop owner so that the business flows. So as a company, as a aftermarket parts brand, as a aftermarket organization, I have to ensure, and each one of us have to ensure who want to enter the aftermarket, to maintain good relationship with the business linkages, and we should nurture the business linkages to grow, to promote your brand. So this is a real secret of the success in aftermarket. For example, if any one of your product, your company comes here, this should be the first thing to also study what are the business linkages in which segment. Of course, organization like Verco can, of course, become a good guide, a good partner in, making your footprints in Indian aftermarket. Next slide, please. Now, based on these basic insights I have given to you, it's a great opportunity for any stakeholder in the parts industry to enter India. India has very huge potential of vehicle which are coming on the road, whether it is commercial vehicle as a car or tractor or two-wheeler or off-the-road vehicles. Because of the size of the country, because of the so much big population of the country, we need to move on regularly on roads to meet the demand of the Indian public. So the opportunities are, one, there's a very huge demand, which you can take share of. You can enter, offer your quality product, which meeting the OE standard, offer value for money, and here you go, and you can, grow your business exponentially. Two, there's an opportunity also available because India has an organized distribution network. It is evolving, but if we look at from last decade and growing ahead, India has really got very organized distribution network, and there's a clear flow. As a company, we can guide, And as an organization, you can always do your research and who are the good distributor, who are the, their chain of network to dealers, who can spread your product, fast, and you can spread your product, distribute your product on a long-term basis. Then there's a third opportunity of technology transfer. As I said, the globalization is taking place, and with globalization, technology comes. With technology, opportunity comes. India is always looking forward to adopt new technology. If you have a new technology, if you have a new product, if you have a real value for money product, here's a opportunity to collaborate on the technology front, or even we can work on technology transfer. Then you can get into product of contract manufacturing. If your product is so quality and bringing to India become cost, to overcome that cost factor, you can get it fabricated, you can get it produced, you can get it manufactured in India, wherever MSME, the medium-sized industries are really growing and they have the capability to produce or to manufacture the product. Then there are diversified product segment, vehicle segment, as I said. So you have to take a call that which product segment you want to enter. For example, passenger vehicle segment, which is the car and two-wheeler, is growing very rapidly. The population is really grown very high. And with this, now the introduction of EVs, electrical vehicle, the market is becoming more diversified. So you have a basket full of diversified demand. You can always decide that there is a demand. There is a potential for every part which is being made globally, because we have all the global brand of vehicle here in India, and we are waiting to, adopt that new technology and new quality product. Next. Primarily, what I wanted to highlight is that India offered a very great opportunity for the aftermarket business, because aftermarket is also the show window of your business. If your brand become popular in Indian aftermarket, I think it will be a great achievement to do. So there's a great opportunity for your brand or for a joint brand with Indian brand for exponential business growth, which can be done through alliances. You can export to or you can import from India, both on short-term and long-term basis. I would only say at the end, welcome to India. We are looking forward to great product, quality product, value for money product. And we at Verco are here to support you, to guide you, to become your partner in your next growing business journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. for highlighting the operational aspects and as well as the working mechanism in the automotive aftermarket industry. And of course, localization is a very important part since India is a very price sensitive market. So now I would like to invite. Yes.
Can I just interrupt? The ending of the webinar might be a little quick. So can we take a picture all together if the people who are able to open their cameras,
Sure.
so we can take a group picture all together. Fotoğraf için kamerasını açabilecek olan arkadaşlardan rica etsek bir toplu fotoğraf almak istiyoruz. Can you please turn the sharing off, please?
Thanks. Please take the presentation out.
The presentation, yeah. My friends are. Okay, sorun değil, şey olmayanlar için, açamayanlar mevcuttakilerle arkadaşlarım alıyorlar şu an. Tamam Sakorçum Bey. Okay. Thank you very much for everyone. We can keep on.
Thank you, everyone. So now I would like to invite Mr. Vinny Mehta, the Director General of the Automotive Component Manufacturers Association, ACMA India, a leading body representing over 850 members of the Indian auto component industry. So please welcome Mr. Mehta. Mr. Mehta, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Mr. Mehta, are you there?
I'm pretty much there. Can you hear me now? I could not unmute myself for some strange reasons.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Wonderful, thank you. And can you give me the sharing rights so that I can put out my presentation, or you can put my presentation on the screen?
Are you able to share your presentation?
I mean, I don't have sharing rights. So if you can put my presentation or you give me the sharing rights, either of it works.
Naman, can you please present Mr. Mehta's PPT? I have just shared you. Naman, are you there?
He's sharing.
Oh.
Hello. Hello.
Mr. Mehta, the screen has been shared. Mr. Mehta, are you there? Okay. Mr. Mehta, we cannot hear you.
Mr. Mehta, you are on mute.
No. My mic is disabled at your end. I can't handle it. So it's not at my end, it's at your end. So nevertheless, can you guys see the presentation? Yeah?
Yes.
So a very good afternoon to all of you. And it's a pleasure for me to address you all. And I believe you've had a very interesting set of presentations all this while. And let me see if I can add something new to it. So can you please do the next slide, please? So, I represent the ACMA, which is the Automotive Component Manufacturers Association, and I'm given to understand that some of you are members of OSS, and you've met my colleagues earlier at the Automechanika Istanbul. So you pretty much know what an association is all about, but today we have actually 1,000+ members and not 900, and we represent over 85% of the turnover of the industry. So it's a very, very active body, and it plays a very crucial role in policy and regulation formulations for the industry, as also trade promotion. We'll do the next slide. So you've heard about from my previous colleagues about the potential that India holds. So I'm not repeating it, but all I want to tell you is that the vehicle, population in the country is still very, very small. We have just about 30 cars per 1,000 people. We have just about 180 two-wheelers per 1,000 people, and just one bus per 1,000 people. And therefore, the headroom for growth for both the vehicle industry and the auto component industry is very, very tremendous. And the vehicle park in the country is probably around 300 million vehicles. And therefore, with new vehicles being added every single year, I'll share some charts on how the vehicles are getting added. And the aftermarket opportunity also continues to grow very, very rapidly. We'll do a next slide, please. So just to give you an idea about the overall auto industry in the country, this is the vehicle and the component industry today, vehicle and the component industry taken together. We are a $240 to $250 billion industry today, and we represent a very significant portion of the national economy. We create almost close to 30 million jobs. We are about 7% of our GDP, and we are the highest taxpayers to the government of India. With the next. This is a chart on how the vehicle sales have been over the years. I'm presenting from 2015 until 23. And FY24 has been probably one of the best years when it comes to the car sales. Car production was close to 5 million units, and the car sales were around 4 million units. About close to 900,000 cars got exported last year. We'll do the next slide. This is the chart on the commercial vehicle and the two-wheeler industry, and we did close to about 1 million units of commercial vehicles and close to 22 million units in production of two-wheelers. So you can understand the size of the vehicle industry, and therefore the size of the auto component industry, and added to what we supply to the vehicle manufacturers, we also have the vibrant aftermarket, and we're also a very significant exporter. We'll do the next slide. The story of Indian auto industry would be incomplete without mentioning about the rapid uptick in the electric mobility industry. And last year we did close to around 900,000 units of two-wheelers, around 600,000 units of three-wheelers. Buses are also gaining a lot of traction, close to about 100,000 units of electric cars, and about 3,000 units of electric buses. Electric buses are now gaining a rapid traction, and there are several government policies. We'll talk about them later, but the consumption of electric buses could be as huge as 50,000 in next 5 years. So we're clearly talking about very big numbers again here. And by 2030, the government's goal is to have 30% of the vehicle production to be electric. So we're looking at a very significant transformation in the entire automotive industry here. The next. So the auto component industry that we represent, and we are very proud to represent, it's a very, very vibrant industry. And last year, our turnover stood at $74 billion. And there's a significant value add that's coming from the auto component industry, because the complexity in the vehicles is increasing every single year with our regulations getting tougher. I heard somebody talk about regulations on Euro 6. We're working on Euro 7. Then there's a huge focus on safety. The Indian vehicle industry follows the UNECE norms, and I would say our vehicles are a tad phase lag from what you have in the Europe, and the cars that you would see in the Indian roads are pretty much comparable to anywhere in the world. And the car here is pretty much, or the vehicles here are pretty much, aspirational. So people want bigger cars. They want more CCs when it comes to the two-wheelers. We're finding a huge change in consumption of commercial vehicles where you are getting more of tractor trailers. So both in terms of sizes of the vehicles and because of complexity in the regulations, and the value add from the auto component is becoming higher and higher. And that's pretty much reflected in the increased turnover of the industry. And mind you, this was the highest ever turnover in the auto component industry. The next. Just to give you an idea about where our customers come from, and almost 44% of we produce is accounted for by the passenger vehicles, and around a quarter of it comes from the commercial vehicle industry, and a fifth comes from the two-wheeler industry. And we probably make everything conceivable under the hood. So it's a very, very competitive industry. And last year, of what we produce, 6% came in from the EV industry. So there's the transformation, and the industry is adapting to the transformation as well. To the next. So as I mentioned to you, the competitiveness is pretty much reflected in our export, and we export almost close to 30% of we produce. So last year, our exports stood at $21.2 billion. And what's very noteworthy is that last year, the merchandise export from India were negative, and the growth was negative. And despite that, the auto component industry clocked a 5% positive growth. The industry is very much a part of the global value chain, and therefore there is also a sizable import. So the import and export go hand in hand, but the moot point is that the export were a tad higher than the import. So that's how it is. Yeah. With the next. So just to give you an idea about our markets where we export, Europe and the US are single largest export markets, both accounting for almost 30% of what we export, almost each close to or $7 billion. Yeah, go to the next. And this is import. Of course, Asia, like the world over, dominates from where we import. And here, of course, 30% of our import comes from mainland China. Next. And the aftermarket, that is subject of today. We have a very vibrant aftermarket. The aftermarket was earlier more of an informal industry, but today it's increasingly getting formalized because of more penetration of the e-commerce. That's causing a lot of reach of the aftermarket into the hinterland. And also there is a more awareness in people to buy genuine components. E-commerce is helping that too. And also we find a lot of formalization happening in the distribution channels. So again, we're finding a very significant growth in the aftermarket. And I can say this within these closed walls is that ACMA is very much working with the government to have a regulation on right to repair. And that would again, in some sense, like Europe, unleash the aftermarket, where, in Europe, the aftermarket is as large as the OE supply. So keeping our fingers crossed, I hope that will help the aftermarket grow. And I would say that this is an opportune time for you to look at if you're wanting to do business with India, because things haven't ever been so brighter and better. And, we continue to be a global sweet spot despite a huge amount of geopolitical challenges happening the worldwide. Who's the next? So just to give you a very sketchy idea, a very brief idea on regulations, in the automotive industry is probably the most regulated industry, very much like the world over, but interestingly, foreign direct investment into the automotive industry is deregulated. So you don't need anybody's permission if you were to invest in the automotive industry in India. And because the auto industry is, in some sense, a driver of growth for the Indian economy, there are many policies that come from time to time that encourage investments into the automotive industry. And overall, the focus of the government is carbon neutrality, achieving carbon neutrality by 2070. And a lot of policies are aimed eventually achieving the carbon neutrality. And so we have the PLI scheme of the government of India that intends to attract investments into manufacturing of advanced technologies as also into the battery. We have a scheme of the government of India which is on promoting manufacturing of electric mobility cars, dedicated to the cars. It's called Electric Mobility Promotion Scheme. Very, very recently, the government has announced 2 new schemes, which is called PM E-Drive, which is again a version of the earlier scheme, which was called FAME 2 for promoting manufacturing of electric mobility and electric components for that. And of course, the PM E-Bus Seva scheme, which I alluded to, that aims at putting buses into the services, electric buses into the services. And then we have the Green Hydrogen Mission, and the government together with us, which is ACMA, and our sister organization SIAM that represents the vehicle industry. We're working on the Automotive Mission Plan, which is a roadmap until 2047. So you can expect more incentives and schemes coming from the government for automotive manufacturing and auto component manufacturing. And as I said, we are a very, very regulated industry, and we are following the UNECE norms with a tad phase lag, but we are catching up very, very fast. And very many schemes or policies on the regulatory front, which are working to make our products world class. We do the next. So looking at what are the challenges for looking at what are the challenges and opportunities. So looking at the tailwinds, of course, as I said, India continues to be a global sweet spot, and we expect to grow by nothing less than 7% for the coming few years. The demand for domestic vehicles continues to be very, very strong. There's a huge focus of the government on development of infrastructure. The policies are very, very stable. There's focus on carbon neutrality. There's focus on electric mobility. There is a very, very vibrant ecosystem of startups that's feeding technology into the automotive ecosystem. And of course, from the challenges point of view, like the world over, like you suffer, we suffer from geopolitical issues, whether it is the wars in Russia, Ukraine, or Israel and its neighborhood. And of course, this is leading to a lot of challenges on front of freight costs. The freight costs from India to the rest of the world is going up, and that's a challenge. And from an internal point of view, we believe that the GST or the domestic tax on the auto components is still tad too high. Some of the auto components are at 18% and some are at 28%, and we would like the government to make it a uniform 18%. Next, please. So this could be a tad repetitive because speaker after speaker have spoken to you on the opportunities that India and Turkey or the Turkish business could leverage off India. And one, of course, is on supply chain optimization when it comes to aftermarket. And of course, when you talk about business, it's a two-way street. We could leverage your presence closer to Europe, but you could leverage a very significant auto component manufacturing base, and we could support each other in terms of supply chain crisis. And of course, every market has very, very unique products or vehicle products, and we could look at joint development of products for our uniqueness of the markets. And they could be, India is a very, very vast geography. And, you could look at leveraging the distribution network of Indian players. And last but not the least, today's generation expects all product to be happening through e-commerce, all trade to be happening on e-commerce. And therefore, we need to leverage on the digital platforms to reach out better to our customers, especially in India, where the hinterland is very, very significant, So these are some of the areas one could look at. Yeah, we do the next. And before I close, maybe there are two important events that you could consider sort of being part of to understand India better from trade purposes. One is that we are organizing the iAuto Connect, and I stands for India. So this is an India Connect, and here sort of we host buyers. So if you're interested in buying products out of India, you could be a guest. We would host your travel and stay, and this is sponsored by the government of India. And we would have about 150 exhibitors of Indian products. This is an exclusive exhibition for the sellers. There's a QR code out there. You could scan it for more details. And I would request the organizers to circulate our presentation so that, you can have it with you. And you could also sort of come to the ACMA website and sort of look at this in more details. To the next. And this is not to be a missed opportunity. This is the Great Auto Expo, which is now called Bharat Mobility Global Expo. Bharat stands for India. And we have the Auto Expo, the component show. This is at Yashobhumi, which is very much like your exhibition center in Istanbul. We have 51,000 square meters of exhibitors here. More than 1,000 exhibitors would be here, and there are 4 international pavilions. So please visit India for either of the shows, and we'll be very happy to facilitate your visit to explore the Indian market. So I guess that's all I had to talk. And if there are any questions, you can write to me, you can ask me here, whatever you wish. So thank you so much for having me. Yeah. Thank you. You could end this.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta, for offering such detailed insights of the Indian automotive market. So now I would like to invite our final speaker for the day is Mr. Ashish Jain, Director of LMCE Enterprises. So LMCE Enterprises is a leading distributor of automobile spares in India with nearly 3 decades of experience. So please welcome Mr. Jain.
Yeah. Hi, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible,
so
Mr.
It's
Jain.
a privilege to be part of this gathering, and also I would like to thank Worker Group to give me a chance to present on the distributors side of things. Is my screen also visible now? Is the screen being shared, Himani?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay.
Yes.
You can
continue.
I represent LMC Enterprises Private Limited, which is a leading distributor of automobile components in the country. And we've recently also become the first member of the European International Trade Group, which is Group Auto International. So in fact, this is the first time that announcement is being made, and I'm privileged to make it to you. So I will get to the point straight away on with the subject of my discussion as to why Turkey suppliers need a partner in India. I think speaker after speaker has mentioned that India is not really, one market. I would say that it's so diverse, and the behavior patterns and the consumer behavior is so different that you need a local partner, you need a local man, and that is where a distributor or a channel partner is handy, especially for foreign suppliers, for non-Indian suppliers. So you get the local on-the-ground presence. No foreign company can provide so many feet on the ground that your Indian channel partner can provide. The Indian channel partner can give you, it's a unique market which varies geography to geography and segment to segment. And you need a port that has the skill sets for all those segments, and your channel partner will have a team like that. So thus comes the next factor. You already get a team and you also get a ready network. You will get a network of thousands of customers, retailers, workshops who are, there already buying products. Then inventory and supply chain management is very complex in India because the vehicle park here is much different from what you normally encounter in Europe with the proliferation of Suzuki here. And as a result, supply inventory management becomes a big issue, which again can be provided insights to you by the local partner. A very important part of any marketing or sales plan is the brand building and promotions. And again, some former speakers talked about having all those run in local languages, local dialects on the social media, because India has one of the highest number of smartphones. And so that is again a strategy which is designed for India, will be a very big input that your local partner will give. Someone also spoke about the product and fitment training. So there would be products which you normally do not sell in Europe, but which will be required to be a part of your portfolio in India. And for that, you will require fitment trials. And that is again where your partner can play a role in. Also for the products which the Indian customer or the Indian channel is not too adept at, for example, parts of the European vehicles, you will need to administer product training. And for that, again, the channel partner can be your arms. Warranty handling. Warranty is a very important part of the service bundling. And hence, instead of handling it from Turkey, where, back and forth of the material will be a big problem, the Indian partner can handle it. I would say the customer feedback, the feedback chain, just like you supply goods to the distributor who supplies it onwards to the retailer or the wholesalers or the workshop or the customer, likewise, the feedback chain is also very important. This constant process of supply and feedback makes the whole product offering much more robust and much more mature. So feedback is a very, very important part of a distributor's, I would say, job description. And then last but not the least, your products can become part of a larger offer of the already burgeoning or already vibrant basket of products that any channel partner, any distributor has. And when perhaps on its own, the product basket might not be so large to begin with from a Turkey supplier, but when it becomes a part of a distributor portfolio, then it becomes much more, I would say, lucrative. Before I go to my company's thing, there are a couple of things I want to add. India, like Mr. Mehta also spoke, is a very big export hub also now. Just like Turkey is a big export hub for the Europe, and it's in fact recognized and perceived by the Indian market as a large and very cost-effective source of high-quality parts. So we can also be your, kind of redistribution point. The Indian partner can be a redistribution point to geographies of the world where Turkey is not supplying as of now. The other thing is that, obviously domestic demand is very robust and continues to increase because of the various aspects we've heard. The discussion has already started on right to repair in India. And given the resolve of this government and the continuity, I have no doubt in my mind that in some form it will definitely see the light of the day. And once that comes, that means the information sharing will be huge. And that's again where the global part numbers and the, those kind of platforms will open windows to a larger market. The other aspect is that while the new car market is growing, the used car market is growing at even a faster pace, which means the aftermarket, opportunity is huge. So these are some of the macro aspects about the industry which I thought I would share with you. And I would be doing injustice to my company if I don't give a brief overrun of what we do so that I can pitch myself as a possible partner. So we are one of the oldest families in the business, and we have been in the business for 85 years, started by my grandfather. My father is still active in business. He now has, in fact, almost 6 decades of experience. And the family is run by my brother, Sanjay, who's an alumnus of IIT Delhi and IIM Calcutta. I myself also am an engineer and an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. And the new generation, the 4th generation in this business has joined. And he's my nephew who's, graduated from the world famous Purdue University in US. What we have is 8 decades of automotive experience, and we have a very, very, I would say, proud track record of ethical and fair dealing. We have professionally qualified and competent promoters, as you've seen. We have relationships with a lot of top component manufacturers, both global and Indian. And we are progressive, which is borne out by our latest association with Group Auto International. And we have an extensive distribution network. We have our own private label. And the last bullet is very important. We already have our e-commerce channel.
Mr. Jain, sorry to interrupt you. We have floated the presentation, but we don't know on which slide you are. So it would be great if you can also let us know which slide you want.
I'm on slide 4. I'm on slide 4 right now.
Okay. So when you change the slide, you let us know.
Okay. Right now I'm on slide 4, moving to slide 5. Network. Is that right? Can you see that? So we are also present in all the vehicle segments. Of course, passenger cars and commercial vehicles form the major part of our business. But we also have now a growing presence in two-wheelers and off-highway, and tractors for any distributor is a very important part of our portfolio because we still continue to have most of our workforce in the agricultural segment. We have 40 representatives who cover the nook and breadth of the market. We have warehousing space, and we have major brand portfolio in the engine, powertrain, and chassis components. And next slide, please. So these are the brands that we represent. I'm sure my Turkey friends recognize quite a few of those brands. So if I look at the global brands, we have Brembo, we have Contitech, we have Dana, we have Denso, we have Goodse, Hippo, and the Schaeffler brands, then the Drive Tenneco brands, then MAN and Vix filters, Nissan, and we also have the larger Indian brands. I mean, Shriram Piston is the largest manufacturer of piston and rings, then gaskets, so radiators, engine bearings. So we have a wide portfolio of brands, both Indian and global. Like I mentioned, this is the next slide, please. I mentioned earlier, we have our own e-commerce platform. So we started in 2012, actually, with a dream of, making it a very big B2C platform. But what we discovered and learned was that the B2C business thrives in segments where there is a DIY. Unfortunately, as of now, India is not very hot on DIY, especially in the auto space. I mean, none of the vehicle owners want to do the running repairs themselves. So we realized this, and in 2024, that is early part of this year, we changed our store to be an exclusive e-store for luxury vehicles. By luxury, I mean the Audis, the BMWs, the Mercedes, and the Jaguars and beyond. And because with the growing income levels, the luxury car market is showing, in fact, a higher growth than the overall car market, which is also showing a handsome growth. And our estimate at LMC Enterprises is that this growth will continue. We only have the experience of the other developing countries who've gone on to become much more developed economies to show that. And as a result, this has seen this initiative or change from our side has seen a lot of traction for the business. In fact, our growth, even as a distributor in the last few years, has been fueled by the parts of these German or European vehicles. So these are some of the feedbacks we got for our genuineparts.in e-commerce platform. They were all very positive, because we are already oriented towards giving service, because at the end of the day, a distributor is in a service industry. And so we just had to leverage our logistics tie-up and use it for genuine parts. As you can see, one of the important aspects a channel partner will do is to take part in promotions with you. So we participated in the Automechanica, which was held this year in February in Bharat Mandapam. And Brembo is a very big partner for us. And you can see that we were interacted and we take part with them in all kinds of activities. And likewise, we want to do that for any newer partner. And I believe that a channel partner is like an extension of the brand owner, in fact. We also, this is the second last slide. We undertake a lot of activities. As you can see, we undertake marketing activities like big hoardings, advertising. We participated ourselves in Automechanica this year. Then a lot of team motivation is required, both internal and external. So we keep on running campaigns for our teams and also the market. And the last slide. So these are again some of the pictures showing those initiatives that we have taken. I would like to also close that by saying that definitely you need a channel partner if you want to, come to the Indian market. And because of that, I think that the right channel partner is very important. Also, you also get a window into Asian vehicles, which are, higher in number in India. And as a result, the Turkey suppliers can have a lot of, I would say, they can have partnerships which can bolster their own product portfolio, because India has a very huge supply base of these parts of Suzuki's and Hyundai's. Thank you. I hope that was informative enough. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Jain, for sharing such wonderful insights of the market and highlighting the importance of a channel partner for a newer market. So, as we heard from all of our respective leaders and veterans, so to give extraordinary insights, so if any of the members or participants, if you have any questions, kindly write in the chat and we'll try to answer that. And you can also mention the name from which person you want to hear the answer. You can put it in the chat.
Let me also share it in Turkish. Konuşmalarımızın sonuna geldik. Bu dakikaya kadar sabırla bizle olduğunuz için çok teşekkür ederiz. Sormak istediğiniz soru varsa chatten yazabilirsiniz şu anda. Son bölümdeyiz. Cevaplanmasını istediğiniz, aklınızda kalan sorular varsa oraya yazabilirsiniz. Toplantı sonrası da bizler sizlere zaten yani hem sunumları ileteceğiz, hem sorduğunuz başka sorular olursa irtibatları, nasıl temasa geçeceğiniz, onları da ayrıca size destek olacağız. Ama soru varsa konuşmacıları şu an alabiliriz. Okay, I think there is not much question. I also told to our members that we will be also assisting you later in terms of in case if they have any questions, or in case they will need to get in touch with any of you, we will be assisting them together with you. So as far as I see, there will be no question for this webinar.
So if there is no question, I think we can conclude this session.
Yeah.
So I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our speakers for sharing their invaluable knowledge and experiences with us. So each session has provided a wealth of insights for all the participants, and I'm confident we have all gained a clearer understanding of the opportunities that lies in the Indian market and as well as the challenges within the Indian automotive industry. So thank you as well to our audience for your participation and patience. So we hope today's discussions lead to new collaborations and success to your new ventures. And once again, thank you to everyone. And we look forward to continuing this conversation in the future.
Sure.
So
We also thank you
Yes.
very much, because India and the realities of the automotive aftermarket was quite unknown, quite uncertain for us, which is the subject is quite new for all of us. We regard this moment, this webinar, as a start of a new, let's say, dimension between the two countries and the automotive aftermarket business. Currently, as far as I consider myself, I have a clear picture about the entrance level, the difficulties, the possibilities, and how the players are acting, how it can be distributed, the joint action, the necessity of the joint action, which I think will give this webinar gave a clear picture to all of us, to all our audiences. So I thank you all to Verco Group for this webinar, and also all the speakers who kindly accepted the invitation and made their presentations here.
Thank you, Mr. Emir Khan. So I've dropped my coordinates in the chat, so we can all be in touch.
Mm-hmm.
You can find my mail ID in the chat box.
Okay, I have seen it. Okay, thank you very much, and have a nice day to you all.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.